Alright, ji, assalamu alaikum everyone. How are you all? I hope that you all are doing well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel Biology by HR. So in today's video we will be continuing with the cell structure MCQs, the MCQs which were left, right? Today we are going to solve these MCQs. So let's begin with question 22. Question 22 over here. Question 22 is from March 2020, paper 1 to question 4. The question says that which cell structures contain the RNA. RNA stands for the ribonucleic acid, and RNA is mainly of three types. The mRNA, which is the messenger RNA, it is formed as a result of the transcription. Then the transverse RNA, right? Transverse RNA carries the amino acid for the translation. And then there is the ribosomal RNA, which is found in the ribosomes and makes up the main component of the ribosomes. Centrioles does not contain any of the RNA, right? They are already a membraneless, or you can say that non-membrane bound organelles, right? There are two centrioles in the cell, right, which are at a right angle to each other. If I talk about mitochondria, so yes, mitochondria has the ribosome, so obviously it will have the rRNA, which is the ribosomal RNA. So yes, it is correct. If I talk about the nucleus, so we know that transcription happens in the nucleus, and ribosomes are formed in the nucleolus, which is inside the nucleus, right? Nucleus has the chromatin thread and the nucleolus is a place where the nucleolus is a part where the ribosomes are formed. So the nucleus is also having the ribosomal RNA and the messenger RNA, because the DNA will be transcribed in the nucleus, and the messenger RNA will be formed. Again, talking about the ribosomes has the rRNA, which is the ribosomal RNA, right? So 2, 3 and 4, option C will be our correct answer. They all contain the RNA. Now let's move on to question 23. It is from October-November 2019, paper 1 to question 4. It says that which features shown in the diagram can be present in the eukaryotes. Eukaryotes are the type of the cell which has a true nucleus and which contains the membrane bound organelles. Membrane bound organelles. Now they are saying that which features are present in the eukaryotic cells. DNA, yes, DNA is present in the eukaryotic cells. The ribosomes, yes, ribosomes is present in the typical structure of the eukaryotic cell. If they are talking about the 70S ribosomes, so they may be present in the mitochondria, right? RNA, obviously RNA is present, RNA, right, like the mRNA, the messenger RNA, which is made after the transcription, right? And the ribosomal RNA is present obviously because the ribosomes are present in the eukaryotes, whether be it the 80S or the 70S ribosomes. If I talk about the peptidoglycan cell wall, so peptidoglycan cell wall is the feature of the bacterial cell. And bacterial cells are also known as the prokaryotic cells, right? So peptidoglycan cell wall is not present in the eukaryotes. So the correct answer to this MCQ would be 1, 2 and 3. Option A is our correct answer. So now let's move on to question 24 over here. It is from October-November 19, paper 1 to question 6. It says that which type of RNA are present in the prokaryotic cells and in the eukaryotic cells. Now we know that the protein synthesis takes place in both type of cell. It takes place in both type of cells, right? So hence the RNA present in the prokaryotic cells and the eukaryotic cells must be all type of RNA, the messenger RNA, the ribosomal RNA and the transverse RNA. All of these three RNA are essential for the protein synthesis. So hence the correct answer for question 24 is option A. Alright, so now let's move on to question 25 over here, which is from October-November 19, paper 1 to question 5. I have already solved these type of questions in the part 3 of the cell structure topical MCQs video, so you guys can go over there and you can find more MCQs like this, right? Now the question says that 4 students were asked to match the function with the appearance of some cell structures in the animal cell. The functions were listed by a number. Now they have given you a list of the functions and then the appearance right? They have given you the appearance and the function. You have to match the function with the appearance. Which student correctly match the numbered functions with the appearance of the cell structure? Now you have to read the function right, and then you have to identify the structure. Organize the microtubules to produce the spindle during the cell division. We know that spindles are produced during the cell division by the centrioles, which are the non-membrane bound organelles, right? And they release the spindle fibers during the cell division. Synthesis of the polypeptide, obviously a very popular answer to this is the ribosomes, and ribosomes is also a non-membrane bound spherical structure, right? And if I talk about the centriole, so centriole is also a non-membrane bound cylindrical structure, right? These are this is the shape of the centriole, just a schematic diagram of the centriole. And if I talk about the ribosome, so it is somewhat like this, right? It consists of a large subunit and a small subunit. And then the synthesis of lipids take place in the SCR, right? And the SCR is the membrane which surrounds an enclosed inner cavity. It is the SCR over here. So hence the correct answer to this MCQ must be, for 1 it is option Y, right? For 1 it is Y, for 2 it is, if I talk about 2, so for 2 it is W, and for 3 it is V, right? So hence the correct answer for this MCQ is option C over here. Alright G, so now let's move on to question 26 over here. Question 26 over here is from October-November 2019, paper 1-1, question 1. It says that which cell structure contains the cytoplasm. Now if I talk about the chloroplast, so the cytoplasmic content of the chloroplast is basically known as the stroma, right? And the cytoplasmic content of the mitochondria is known as the matrix, right? All the organelles are contained within the matrix in the mitochondria, and all the organelles are contained in the stroma in the chloroplast. And if I talk about the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, so basically the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is an interconnected network of the fluid filled flattened sacs, right? Fluid filled flattened sacs. Sacs means the pouches, right? They are the fluid filled flattened sacs. So basically the plasmodesmata is the correct answer over here. They are the cytoplasmic extensions, right? They are mostly found in the plant cells. They are not found in the animal cells. They are found in the plant cells only. They are the cytoplasmic extensions. Hence the correct answer for question 26 is option C. Now let's move on to question 27 over here. Question 27 over here is from October-November 2019, paper 1-1, question 2. It says that some cell structures are listed in a particular order: nucleus, ribosomes, Golgi body, vesicles. Alright, now they say that what determines the order in which these cells are listed. Nucleus, then comes the ribosomes, then comes the Golgi body, then comes the vesicles. Maybe in the nucleus the mRNA, a gene for the protein, is basically transcribed and mRNA is generated. That mRNA goes out to the ribosome, right? It joins with the ribosome, and then protein synthesis takes place, right? And then the synthesized protein comes to the Golgi body, where it may be packed, right, or modified, and then it goes to the vesicle and then outside of the cell. Or if it would be an intracellular vesicle of the protein, then it would stay inside the cell. Let's read the options one by one. Used in the synthesis of the lipids. No, in the synthesis of the lipids, smooth endoplasmic reticulum is used. Ribosome is for the protein synthesis, right? Protein synthesis. Sequence used in the synthesis of the antibody. Yes, we know that antibody is a protein. Antibody is a protein. It is a quaternary protein. It is made up of more than one polypeptide chain. So yes, antibody is a protein. B can be our correct answer. Size from the largest to smallest, no. Size from the smallest to largest, no. So hence option B is our correct answer. Sequence used in the synthesis of antibody, which is a protein. And I already told you guys that they are telling you the sequence of the protein synthesis, right? So hence the correct answer is option B. Now let's move on with question 28, which is from October November 19 paper 1 question 4. It says that four students were asked to match the function with the appearance of some cell structures in an animal cell. The functions were listed by a number. Right now they are telling you the three functions, and then they are saying that the appearances were listed by the letters. The appearance of the particular structure for the function they are talking about is basically listed over here. Then they are in the question, basically they are saying that according to the numbered functions which are 1, 2 and 3 present over here, they are asking that with the appearance of the cell structure which is correctly matching with the appearance of the cell structure. Like in the statement 1, they are saying that mRNA passes through to the ribosomes. Now we know that mRNA passes through to the ribosomes from the nucleus via the nuclear pores, right? And nuclear envelope is a double membrane bound organelle which is interspersed with the pores. So hence one is matching with the appearance of X, which is of the nuclear membrane. Synthesis of the polypeptides is basically the function of the ribosomes, right? Ribosomes, and ribosomes are the non-membrane bound spherical structures, so W. For 2 it is W, and for 3 they are saying that packaging of the hydrolytic enzymes that will remain inside the cell. So we know that the packaging is the function of the membrane bound sacs arranged as a flattened stack, which is the Golgi body, right? Golgi body. So hence for 3 it is Z. So the correct answer for question 28 is option C. I hope that this is clear to all of you. Alright, so now let's move on to question 30 over here, which is from October November 19, paper 1-3 question 3. It says that which cell structures contain the 70S ribosome. So we know that the matrix, the stroma of the chloroplast contains the 70S ribosome. The matrix of the mitochondria contains the 70S ribosomes. Nucleus does not contain the 70S ribosome. Cytoplasm. Yes, cytoplasm of a prokaryotic cell can contain the 70S ribosome, but I believe they are talking about the eukaryotic cell because they are talking about the chloroplast and the mitochondria as well, and they are the membrane bound organelles, and membrane bound organelles are only found in the eukaryotic cells, not in the prokaryotic cells. So 70S ribosomes are not found in the cytoplasm either, right? So hence the correct answer for this MCQ would be option A, 1 and 2 only. Now let's give question 31 a read. It is from March 19 paper 1 to question 4. It says that which structures are found in both chloroplast and the mitochondria. So chloroplast and mitochondria both contain the 70S ribosome. They do not contain the 80S ribosomes, and they have a circular DNA. So hence option A is our correct answer over here. Alright, so now let's move on to question 32 over here. Question 32 over here is from October November 2018 paper 1 to question 5. It says that which statements are correct for a green plant. Statement 1 is saying that ATP is produced by the mitochondria. Yes, it is absolutely correct. Why? Because we know that the mitochondria are present in a typical plant cell. So yes, ATP is produced by the mitochondria. This statement is correct. Then statement 2 is saying ATP is produced by the chloroplast. Yes, this is absolutely correct, that yes, ATP is produced by the chloroplast, because we know that chloroplast is essential for the process of photosynthesis, right? And ATP is produced during the light dependent reaction of the photosynthesis. You are going to study it in detail in A2. We have a whole chapter of photosynthesis where we will be discussing that how ATP is produced by the chloroplast during the photosynthesis, right? Then statement 3 is saying that ATP forms the part of the DNA. No, it is incorrect. ATP does not form the part of the DNA. Rather, nucleotides forms the part of the DNA. Right? So hence the correct answer for this MCQ must be option B. 1 and 2 are correct only. Alright, so now let's move on to question 33. It is from October November 18 paper 1 question 4. It says that which row correctly describes the function of the cell structures. Lysosomes. We know that lysosomes are the vesicles containing the hydrolytic enzymes, right? So we can say that they are the spherical sacs containing the hydrolytic enzymes. Also, they do the digestion of the unwanted structures, right? They also do the digestion of the unwanted structures. That's why they have the hydrolytic enzymes. So both can be the function. Let's move on with mitochondria. Mitochondria abundant in the sites of the active transport. Absolutely correct. ATP synthesis, yes, correct. Because we know that active transport requires ATP and ATP is synthesized in the mitochondria. So both of the statements are correct up till now. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Processing of a protein incorrect. Glycoprotein production incorrect. Lipid production correct, right? We know that smooth endoplasmic reticulum is involved in the synthesis of the lipids, right? Then Golgi body. We know that Golgi body participates in the collection, modification, sorting, packaging, right? And if I talk about the modification, so the glycoprotein production is a part of the modification. So we can say that Golgi body is participating in the glycoprotein production, not the lipid production, right? So hence the correct answer for this MCQ is option B, which has all the correct functions of the organelles given. Question 34. Question 34 is from October November 18 paper 1 question 5. It says that the diagram shows the relationship between the various cells in their components. Which row is correct? Let's discuss the options one by one. ATS ribosomes. ATS ribosomes. Then they are saying eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell. Then in the 3 they are saying mitochondria. If I talk about till here, we know that eukaryotic cell has both the ATS ribosomes as well as the mitochondria, because eukaryotic cell has a true nucleus as well as the membrane containing organelles. Then if I talk about the if I talk about the 4 and 5 over here, so 4 is the 70S ribosomes and 5 is the prokaryote. So we know that prokaryotic cells as well as the mitochondria, the chloroplast, they all contain the 70S ribosome. So option A is absolutely giving us the correct description about everything. So hence option A is our correct answer. Let's now come to question 35. It is from October November 2018 paper 1 question 6. What comparison of a bacterial cell wall and a plant cell wall is correct? We know that the bacterial cell wall is undoubtedly made up of the peptidoglycan, right? And plant cell wall is made up of the cellulose. And cellulose is basically the polymer of the beta glucose, right? So it is made up of the cellulose. But however, the bacterial cell wall is not made up of the polymer of alpha glucose. However, it is made up of the peptidoglycan. So option B is also incorrect, as they are saying polymer of beta glucose can be made of the polymer of amino sugar. Incorrect, made up of the polymer of beta glucose, correct. Hence option D is our correct answer over here, that cellulose is made up of the monomer of beta glucose, right, and the bacterial cell wall is made up of the peptidoglycan. Alright, so question 36 over here, which is from October November 18 paper 1 question 4. It says that the diagram is a drawing from an electron micrograph of a typical animal cell. What is the function of the membrane system labeled X over here? Alright, so first of all, let's discuss the structures in the cell, right? X over here is basically showing the rough endoplasmic reticulum. How do you know that it is a rough endoplasmic reticulum? By the ribosomes which are attached to its membrane. The dotted structures are the ribosomes which are attached in the membrane. This whole is the nuclear envelope, which is a double membrane bound, right? It has a double membrane structure. The nuclear envelope is double membrane bound structure. And then this is the mitochondria over here. We can identify the mitochondria by the folded inner membrane, right? This is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. This is the Golgi body. This is, and then this one was the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. How do we identify the smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Because it does not have a dotted structure or the rough structure on its membrane, right? And then it is continuous as well. So we can say that it is a smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And then the Golgi body are basically separated. Golgi bodies are not continuous. their stacks are not continuous, they are separated, right? Continuous is the endoplasmic reticulum, the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So basically, coming to the question, they are saying that what is the function of the membrane system labeled X, which is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So rough endoplasmic reticulum, the function of the rough endoplasmic reticulum is the synthesis of the protein, right, and the transport of the protein. The synthesis and the transport of the protein, right? It will synthesize the protein, right, and then it will transport it in the vesicle to the Golgi body for the packaging, modification, or whatever, right? So hence the correct answer for question 36 over here is option B. Now let's have a look at question 37 over here. Question 37 over here says that it is from May June 18 paper 1-3 question 3. It says that which cell structures produces the ATP. So we know that chloroplast produces the ATP. Why? Because photosynthesis takes place in the chloroplast, and photosynthesis produces the ATP. So hence chloroplast produce the ATP. If I talk about mitochondria, so obviously we all know that mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell, right? Mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. So yes, mitochondria also produces the ATP. Then if I talk about nucleus, so nucleus does not produce the ATP. So hence the correct answer for this question is option B. Alright, so now let's move on to question 38 over here. Question 38 is from October November 18 paper 1-3 question 5. It says the diagram is a drawing from an electron micrograph of a typical animal cell. Where would the nucleic acids be found? Nucleic acid means that DNA or RNA, right? And RNA is further divided into three types: the messenger RNA, the transverse RNA, and then the ribosomal RNA, right? If I'd say that in 3, we know that 3 is a mitochondria. Mitochondria contains the circular DNA as well as all the RNAs, because protein synthesis happens in the mitochondria as well. So we can say that 3 contains the nucleic acid, right? 3 contains the nucleic acid. Let's eliminate option B, because option B is not having 3 in it, and 3 is containing the nucleic acid. Then if I talk about the rough endoplasmic reticulum, which is shown over here, right? The rough endoplasmic reticulum, which is shown by the 2 over here. So yes, rough endoplasmic reticulum do contain the nucleic acid, because we know that rough endoplasmic reticulum has ribosomes attached to its membrane, and ribosome is made up of the protein and the ribosomal ribonucleic acid, right? rRNA is found in the ribosome. So yes, 2 also contains the nucleic acid, right? And then 1 is pointing out to the cytoplasm. We know that cytoplasm also contain the free ribosomes as well. So ribosomes also contain the RNA, as well as the transverse RNA is also found in the cytoplasm, which carries the amino acid to the mRNA, right? To the you can say the ribosome and the mRNA, so that the translation can take place. So yes, 1 also contains the nucleic acid. Hence the correct answer for this MCQ would be option A over here. Right, so now let's move on to question 39 over here. Question 39 over here is from May June 18 paper 1 to question 1. It says that some features of the cell are listed: cell wall, cell surface membrane, ribosomes. Which features can be found in the plant cells and in the prokaryotic cell? We know that cell wall is present in both the plant cell as well as the prokaryotic cell. In the plant cell, the cell wall is made up of the cellulose, and in the prokaryotic cell, the cell wall is made up of the peptidoglycan. Cell surface membrane is present beneath the cell wall in each the plant cell and the prokaryotic cell. Ribosomes are present in the prokaryotic cell. If I talk about the prokaryotic cell, so 70S ribosomes are present, and if I talk about plant cells, so both the 80S and the 70S ribosomes are present over there. So hence the correct answer for question 39 over here is option A. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alright, so now question 40 over here is from May June 18 paper 1 to question 3. It says that which type of the cell contains the highest proportion of the cell structures bound by a single membrane? Alright, so we know that red blood cell does not, a mature red blood cell does not contain any cell organelle, right? So red blood cell is simply eliminated. Ciliated epithelial cell, goblet cell, smooth muscle cell. Alright, if I talk about the goblet cells, so goblet cells release the mucus, and these mucus is in the vesicles, right? So the highest proportion of the cell structures bound by a single membrane is in the goblet cell. It can be vesicles as well as it can be the Golgi body, right? Because Golgi bodies is where the mucus is modified and it is packed into the vesicle for the transport out of the cell, right? So hence the correct answer over here would be option B, the goblet cells. Question 41 is from October November 18 paper 1-3 question 6. It says that the diagram shows some similarities between the chloroplast, mitochondria and a typical prokaryotes. Which row is correct? Now we have to identify that which row is correct. Let's see, chloroplast, mitochondria and circular DNA. Yes, the chloroplast and the mitochondria both has a common structure which is known as the circular DNA. However, mitochondria and prokaryotes does not have a linear DNA. Rather, it has a circular DNA. So option A is incorrect. Similarly, over here they are also talking about the linear DNA. Option B is also incorrect. Then in option C also, mitochondria and chloroplast, they do not have the linear DNA, rather they have a circular DNA. Option C is also incorrect. Prokaryotes and mitochondria, they both have the 70S ribosomes, right? And mitochondria and chloroplast also has the 70S ribosomes. You have to just learn the list of the cells which are having the 70S ribosomes. It is the prokaryotic cell, just the 70S ribosome, right? Prokaryotic cells are having the 70S ribosomes, and then the cell organelles, mitochondria and the chloroplast are having the 70S ribosomes. It is very high yield for your MCQ paper as well as your theory paper, so you have to remember it. However, hence the correct answer for question 41 is option D. Alright, so now let's move on to question 42 over here. It is from May June 18 paper 1 to question 4. It says that the table shows a variety of structures which may be found in the cell. Which row shows the structures that could be found in the root cells of a plant? If I talk about the plasmodesmata, so they are basically the cytoplasmic extensions, right? So they are found in the plant cells. They are a specific feature of the plant cells, so they can found in the root cells as well. Glycogen granules cannot be found in the root cells, right? Because glycogen is stored in the animal cells. The carbohydrate glycogen is a storage polysaccharide in the animal cells, not in the plant cells. Root cell is a plant cell, right? However, starch is stored in the plant cells. Glycogen granules are not found in the root cells of the plant. Golgi body, if I talk about Golgi body, so yes, Golgi body is present in the root cells of the plant, and mitochondria is also present in the root cells of the plant. Why? Because mitochondria provides the ATP for the active transport and other functions of the root cells of the plant. Hence option B is our correct answer over here. Alright, so now let's move on to question 43. It is our last question of the cell structure topical MCQ series. So let's discuss this last question. It is from May June 18 paper 1-3 question 2. It says that the diagram shows the functions of 4 cell structures W, X, Y and Z. So basically over here they have given us the 4 functions of the cell organelles, and we have to identify that which cell organelle is representing the correct function over here, right? So let's begin with W. It makes the glycolipids. We know that Golgi body is involved in the modification, right? And glycolipids is made by the modification of the glycogen plus lipids, right? So W is the Golgi body. Whenever the lipoprotein, glycolipids, glycoproteins are formed, they all are formed in the Golgi body, right? And if I talk about X over here, X makes the protein. We know that protein synthesis takes place in the ribosomes, right? Ribosomes, or you can say that Synthesis of, if there is a synthesis of protein, so the specific answer is ribosomes. And if they are saying about the transport of the protein, so transport of the protein is from the rough endoplasmic reticulum, because they synthesize the proteins and then they transport it to the Golgi body for the modification, collection, packaging and all. Y makes the lipid. Lipid synthesis is the main function of the SER, which is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So let's conclude the answer. W is the Golgi body, right? Ribosome is corresponding to X, right? Rough endoplasmic reticulum is Z, and then the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is corresponding to the Y, right? So hence the correct answer for question 43 over here is option A. So finally we are done with the topical MCQs of the cell structure. I really hope that you find these past paper solutions very much helpful. If you guys did, then do consider subscribing this channel and hitting the like button. And do tell me in your comments below that how are you finding these lectures, are these helpful for you or not. Your appreciation means a lot to me. It motivates me to make more videos and more past paper solutions for you guys, right? So have a nice day, take care everyone, best of luck from my side for your upcoming examinations, keep preparing well. Thank you everyone.